So we're solving the problem of access to water, but not just providing any access to water, but providing water that is accessible and acceptable to the people we're servicing as customers, not as beneficiaries of our water point.
Right, and what inspired you to start up this initiative?
Well, it was seeing that even as a young person, I thought it could be done better than all the NGOs were doing and actually putting our idea to the test. So we were able to do boreholes in a very cheaper way than other NGOs had been doing before, and seeing our ability to actually bring that solution in a more efficient way, a more affordable way, then inspired me to keep innovating in the field, to where now we're providing full microgrid systems that provide piped water to people's homes.
This year's Shared Value Summit, the theme is talking about collaboration. Do you collaborate with the public sector in any way?
Yeah, we do collaborate a lot with local government, and also very much the people, our users, our customers love our products, to where some people are like, oh, why don't you come and service us? We're like, oh no, that's a restricted area, only this company can be there, and people get really mad about it because the areas we're servicing, they have reliable water, no outages at all. So I mean, who doesn't want that in Kigali or any other place we're working? So we do engage the public sector. We sign MOUs so that our collaboration is guided. We adopted the Rwandan proper rural water tariff to make sure that we're not just servicing an exclusive part of the market. We've obtained from government free land to put our infrastructure, and also old water infrastructure that was not working that we were able to take on and continue using and servicing. So yeah, we do work a lot with government, especially local government, and then on the national level we're involved in sector working groups and also in the dialogue, which in Rwanda, you know, private sector, especially youth, are given a high seat at the table, from national dialogue to national retreats, meet the president. So we do get a lot of involvement with the public sector.
What are your thoughts on the Rwandan government's commitment to universal access to water in Rwanda by 2024?
The thought, I mean, I like the idea. We all want universal access to water. Unfortunately, I don't think municipal grids are the way to get there. We see more reliability and sustainability with microgrids, and I just hope that as the conversation is growing, even in developed nations, they want to switch to microgrids. So I hope Rwanda can also catch on the microgrid space, stop wanting big municipal grids that we do know are not sustainable. They always result in rationing of water, outages, which people accept, and that you don't see the same issues with microgrids. So I do hope that with the commitment to coverage, there can be a commitment to looking at innovation in the water space and seeing the issues that other developed nations like Flint, Michigan was facing. European nations are facing issues about water that developed nations should not be facing right now, but we're yet adopting the model they adopted before. So we really need to look at critically at what works in the sector and that innovations coming around that can solve those issues we have now of access, but also issues we may face in the future of sustainability.
You mentioned about a lot of areas that should be having water, not having it because of systems not working. Can you elaborate on that?
That's the reality. You know, in Rwanda, we've spent days over the past year questioning the water access statistics. And the reality is, like, if we say there is 90% of Rwandans that have water, the functionality of the rural water infrastructure was really low, below 60%. So that actually means the access was very low. So if I elaborate, some of the issues is that there is no person to manage this infrastructure. So, or the people managing it are not professional. Other things can be mismanagement issues. There has been some corruption in water where people who resell water in the community will corrupt the person who sends water. So like, anyways, there's many issues which were talked about extensively in the Senate and Parliament during different hearings about water last year and beginning of this year. But the biggest reason of loss of service is poor management. So unless you have professional firms willing to go and innovate, we can continue using dumb meters when smart meters are so widely available and function. You know, we need to get on the innovation space and make sure we don't commit the same mistakes. Another thing is generally a view of the whole water sector, not just water for drinking, but looking at the upstream as well. So protecting our catchment, making sure our rivers stay clean, don't get polluted from mining activities or other activities, erosion. We've had flooding in Rwanda recently with the landslides and the rain we had. So there is a lot that's going in the sector that will result in non-functioning infrastructure. But the current model as well that governs private operators, which private operators do have the capacity to run these systems, but the environment is not favorable to them because they're only expected to make a running profit so they can cover their OPEX, but that's it. So what could really change it is for them to be allowed to charge a tariff that covers operational expenses but also infrastructure maintenance. Because right now government is still expected to do the infrastructure maintenance, yet it's not a very line in the budget of the country, which it should be. So they should just let the private operators handle the full scale, manage the infrastructure, repair anything that's broken, because they care about the earnings and the profits from the community.
And lastly, are you considering, you know, this year we've seen the delayed rains, we've seen how the region has sort of suffered from that. Are you thinking of any solutions in terms of irrigation or agricultural solutions?
We're actually partnering with the Ministry of Agriculture. I mean, it's still in the works, but we do want to launch a pilot of something we're calling Gijabo. It's going to be a pump rental program, because what's happening right now is the government is very committed to increasing the number of pumps through the small-scale irrigation technology, but they're selling these pumps to farmers at a very high price, and then it's subsidized 50% for the farmer, but then the farmer is getting the irrigation equipment. There is no monitoring how much output they're actually getting from it. So it's, I mean, it's working for some, not working for others, and we'd like to come in and offer a solution where it can work for everybody and involve young people in the process. So with Dijabo, young people will be given an irrigation kit, knowledge on how to irrigate, which crops, how much water, what are the agriculture inputs are needed to increase income for the farmers. And so they will go to their communities and basically do this through a rental model where each farmer is not required to own their own equipment, but they can rent it for their field. So if they have a half hectare of watermelon, they pay only for the meter cubes of water they use, and all the while getting all this free advice on other agriculture inputs